It is my pleasure and honor both to serve as the dean here at the Harvard Graduate School of Education, but importantly, to welcome all of you to our campus today. It's just wonderful to see so many faculty, staff, colleagues, students, alums, and friends in the audience. I want to begin today, this really important day here on this campus, with a heartfelt thanks. First and foremost, we all owe just a debt of gratitude to Professor Emiliana Vegas and the team at the Education Lab for Latin America. You good?
I'm just gonna...
Emiliana and the Ella team, it is their vision and tenacity that are really the engine behind this work. Probably some of the most meaningful work being undertaken in this moment. I'd also like to thank and acknowledge the nearly 20 Harvard students and alumni from across Latin America, the United States, Indonesia, and Venezuela who devoted their academic year to this project. And finally, thank you to our faculty colleagues, panelists, practitioners, and policy leaders joining us from Venezuelan institutions and from around the world. Thank you to our organizers and staff from here at the HGSE, the Tinker Foundation, and the David Rockefeller Center for Latin American Studies, who made today possible. And especially to all of you, educators, policymakers, civic leaders, and friends. You have chosen to spend today looking beyond oil, conflict, sanctions, and markets to focus instead on Venezuelan education. In my view, which is one that I know Emiliana and many of you share, Venezuela's future will stand or fall on what happens to its learners. Fiscal reform, investment energy, new institutions will, of course, matter enormously, but they will not endure unless children and young people are gaining the knowledge, skills, and habits of mind they need to shape their own futures and contribute to a democratic, modern economy. As all of you know, today that system is under extraordinary strain. The Venezuelan National Assembly's 2018 declaration of a complex humanitarian emergency in education was recognition of collapsing infrastructure, widespread teacher shortages, and severe declines in learning. One member of the opposition party said that working as a teacher in Venezuela was an act of heroism, bravery, and courage, given the poor salaries of educators and the terrible conditions of classrooms. Independent data show what Emiliana has so powerfully called us not to forget. Roughly 1 in 3, and some recent estimates put it closer to 4 in 10, school-aged children and adolescents in Venezuela are out of school altogether. And among those who are enrolled, at least 70% are not reaching minimum standards in reading or mathematics. Annual public spending per student, hovering in the low hundreds of dollars, is far below regional norms. At the same time, one of the largest displacement crises in the world continues to unfold today. More than 7 million Venezuelans have left the country. If they one day choose to return, their decision will hinge in large part upon whether their children can grow and learn in schools that are safe, inclusive, rigorous, and successful. Those realities are very difficult to think about, but they are not the end at all of the story. They are the starting point for this very work that you will hear about today. One of the central messages of Professor Vegas's research and of the work you will hear about today in various facets is that education is not a secondary concern to be addressed after the crisis. It has to be part of the solution from the very beginning, When children do not learn to read, write, and reason well, when teachers are unsupported, when schools are fragile, every other reform stands on uneven footing. We know from research that countries that make the greatest strides are those that invest in human development early and consistently. For Venezuela, that means treating the learning and well-being of its children as a national priority. The encouraging news is there is just a great deal to learn from other countries' efforts from across Latin America and beyond. Progress is indeed possible when policy is grounded in evidence and support comes from across business, government, education, public health, and other sectors. We can look to those experiences as proof of concept that thoughtful, evidence-based policy can indeed create meaningful change. Over this academic year, under Emiliana's leadership, her research group, Ella, convened a community that spans HGSE, Harvard College, and practitioners on the ground in Venezuela and the United States. Together, they asked the question, what would it take to put education at the center of Venezuela's democratic and economic transition? What they have come up with is a concrete evidence-based agenda structured around 6 priorities you will explore in depth today. As for our role, Harvard as an institution and HGSE, the Graduate School of Education in particular, has a responsibility to utilize its convening power to bring together scholars, civil society leaders, public officials, and funders, because no one working alone can rebuild an education system. That's exactly what today's conference is about. And my hope, of course, is that it's not simply a one-off event, but indeed the symbol of an ongoing commitment to draw on research, data, and expertise to build a foundation of opportunity and access for generations to come in Venezuela. So thank you again for being here, for the work you have already done, for the work you will do in the hours ahead and the weeks and the years. I certainly myself look forward to learning a lot to see how what starts in this room will grow and contribute to a democratic and prosperous future for all Venezuelans. Thank you.